All right, guys. Check 1 2. What's going on, guys? My name is Ivan Cazarez with the Time Team, and today we have Shirley
Slee.
Slee. All right.
With an L.
With an L.
Yeah.
Hey, Shirley, how are you?
Good. How are you, Ivan?
Good. So this is so funny. Like, we've actually known each other for maybe 3-4 years now.
Yeah. At
Right?
least.
We did one transaction together.
Yes.
We followed each other. We're buddies on social media.
Yeah.
But this is actually the first time we've ever met in person.
Totally, which is bizarre.
Right?
'Cause
Because
I feel like
you've met my wife,
Yes.
you've been to the house, but I've actually never had a chance to meet you.
I know.
So it's super cool how social media works. Like you feel like you know somebody, but you really don't because you've never met him in person,
I
right?
know, but I do. I know.
Yeah.
I feel like I do.
All right. So today I really wanted to bring you on the show for a couple of reasons, right? Because I feel that you're doing such a killer job in the industry. Not only are you just an awesome, badass real estate agent, you're also developing, you're an interior designer, you're a mom, and so you wear a lot of hats. And so I really wanted to just share like who you are as a person and like what inspires you. So tell me a little bit about your childhood, like because you're actually native, right?
Yeah, I'm Native American.
Okay.
Yeah, born and raised in Bishop, California.
Okay.
On the Bishop Shoshone Paiute Reservation.
Wow.
Yeah.
So was it like, what was that? Was it like very humbly beginnings?
Yeah, well, kind of. My parents were hippies.
Okay.
And so just very earthy, natural.
Yeah.
They've been married, gosh, I don't know, 47 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So just two hippies, fell in love as teenagers, and my mom just adapted into the native culture right away with my dad. And so she learned how to basket weave and just like live off the land. And so
kidding.
we were like a little refuge on the reservation, like our family and our home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and they turned to Christianity early on in their marriage.
How many brothers and sisters?
So there's 5 of us.
Okay.
I'm second to the youngest.
Oh, wow. So you had a big family then.
Yeah.
Okay.
All home births, like my mama.
No
yeah,
way.
She's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's hard because we went through a home birth. And that was super tough on Valerie and the body. So that's pretty cool that your mom's a warrior.
Yeah, she is. She's awesome. She's the ultimate mama. Stay-at-home mom. My dad worked for Southern California Edison, supported the family. Just a great childhood.
Okay.
It really, really did. Yeah, I mean, reservation life is not easy. A lot of poverty, drugs. But we had like a refuge. My parents just... like little kids whose parents were on drugs or alcohol would just come and get fed and listen to Bible stories. And my mom, yeah.
So you guys were doing like ministering and outreaching while you guys were in that space.
Totally.
Wow.
Yeah. Great parents, amazing parents.
And your parents still live on the res?
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
They live on the res. My siblings do. I have a house there too. So yeah, we go back all the time.
So you're allowed to own property there then?
Well, it's held in trust by the government, right?
Yeah.
But I have my own land there with my own home.
No way. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that all worked, right? So that's why for me it's a fascinating topic because I'm like, I really don't have that many Native friends, I guess.
Yeah. So you go down our little street in Bishop and it's like aunts, uncles, grandparents, like everyone kind of grew up on the same street.
And is there like a native language there?
Yeah.
Do you speak? It's called a dialect, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you speak that dialect?
I speak some, but my dad's fluent.
Wow.
And my brother. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. So you grew up in Bishop. Obviously, there's some challenges there. You're embracing that culture, and then how did you exit out of that? Like, did you go to college or?
Yeah, so my husband and I, we've been married for 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so we, high school sweethearts, just right after high school, we knew we wanted to be together. So we bought our first home in Bishop.
Okay.
And
so he didn't live on the res,
No, yeah, it's cowboy and Indians for sure.
No way,
yeah.
Really? That's super cool.
So yeah,
Pocahontas type of thing, huh?
Totally, yeah, John Smith, Pocahontas.
That's funny. That is his name, right?
Yeah. So we fell in love early, got married, and then had our first son in Bishop.
Okay.
And then a year and a half later, my daughter Sage was born.
Okay.
And then I just knew like it was either now or never if I was just going to stay in Bishop forever or like pursue something else. So I wanted to go to cosmetology school. So we went to Santa Barbara, packed up everything. It was really tough on my parents because we just had the 2 cute grandbabies.
Yeah.
And so anyways, it was a tough decision, but we just did it. Went to Santa Barbara.
So let me ask you this real quick. So while did you have any pushback with you marrying John?
Yeah. Well, from my parents?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, he was kind of a bad boy, hung out with a couple of my cousins. So my dad was like, why are you,
Yeah.
is John the one? But I knew John. He had a good heart. And so I knew he'd always work hard for a family and just be there.
Yeah.
So.
And then how about his side? Was there any pushback?
I wouldn't say pushback, but definitely you can just feel it, a little bit.
Yeah. And I asked, right, not to go down that path. I asked just because it's, my mom had a little bit of pushback when she got married to my dad.
Yeah.
Right. So in Mexico, you have, my mom's more native, darker skin, more humble beginnings. And then my dad was a wealthier Hispanic. Right. And so there was a little bit of clash, even though they're both Mexican.
Right.
Yeah. But there was still a little bit of pushback there from the families.
No, you feel it. Yeah, you feel it. From even my great aunts and stuff when John would come to family function, he's the white guy.
Yeah, of
mixed
course.
in. Yeah.
So.
But
that's good. So now everyone's accepting.
Oh, yeah.
They love John, I imagine. Yep,
yeah,
of course.
Yes. Yeah, he's a great guy. He'll help anyone and very awesome guy.
Oh, that's amazing. So you guys moved out to Santa Barbara, right? And so you enter cosmetology school, you were saying?
I did through Santa Barbara City College for 2 years, and I would do night school. John would work during the day. He worked for Pepsi.
Okay.
And so I would be with the kids all day, and we had so much fun. We lived right in the heart, like by State Street, Santa Barbara. So.
And you had 2 kids at the moment?
2, yeah.
Okay.
So all day we'd be at the beaches, zoos, just having fun, and then I'd go to school in the night.
Nice.
So, yeah.
And then John would take over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a trade-off. Yeah.
And then where did that transition? You guys moved into Carlsbad or San Diego?
No. So in between here, then, and now, we've bought and sold 19 homes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we would buy like once a year and just renovate, sell, just not knowing that it was like a business, right?
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So the kids have always grown up like in construction sites.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I didn't have my real estate license. I would just like fix them up amazing. And then I would use like a friend or a neighbor, whoever had their real estate license, to sell, and then I'd see their commission check because they were beautiful homes, and they would just come in and sell right away. And I'm like, why am I paying these people this huge commission?
Kidding.
Yeah.
So you got into that space just naturally.
Yeah.
So not even thinking it was going to be a business, you were just like, well, let's sell it, see if we can make a profit type of thing?
It was always the carrot just dangling, like,
No
we can make. Yeah.
That's fascinating. And so was John a contractor? Because John, for the people that are listening, John is a contractor, right? He's
Yeah, so with my brother, my brother was a superintendent for years for a large construction company. So when he retired, I was like, hey, let's team up all together. So we, under his license, we all were licensed, So we formed a team together.
Wow.
Yeah, so we did probably 6 or 7 houses with him and my brother and John and I.
So let's backtrack a little bit. So was John doing the construction at that time?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he's always been super handy then,
yes,
sounds like. Okay.
Totally. Yeah.
Cool.
We would both knock it out together, and then...
So you did 19 homes. That's wild.
Yeah.
While raising a family.
Yes.
You guys are brave.
I know.
I'm trying to convince my wife to do like some room additions right now to our house, and she's like, don't even think about it. We just had a child. Like, we are not touching the house.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, babes, we're running out of space.
It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
You gotta have thick skin to do that.
So you did 19 homes before you got your real estate license then?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's cool. That's wild. That's cool. So while you guys were doing this, were you guys moving like city to city, or were you guys moving down?
We hopped down the coast, definitely. The longest stint, I think we lived in Thousand Oaks, Ventura area for like 4 years. So that was like the longest we stayed. But within that time, I think we were in probably 4 or 5 homes.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
fascinating.
And then it was kind of that now or never point, stay in this little town, Camarillo, or move to like a fun beach town. And so we chose Carlsbad.
Okay.
And then we've been here for 10 years.
Okay. So you've been in here for 10 years. And at that time, when you moved to Carlsbad, that's when you got your real estate license.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing. That's super cool. Yeah. So guys, how I met Shirley, we actually met during a transaction. We were selling a property in Oceanside.
Yeah.
It was some of my buyers that were buying it. And I don't know if you know this, but I used to do construction. So I used to work for the Carpenters Union, and then I used to do a little bit of electrical work.
Oh,
yeah. And so kind of an interesting story there. The guy that was working there on the job site, he found out I got my real estate license years after. He's like, hey, Ivan, I want to buy a house.
Oh.
So that my client that bought the house was from my construction
No
days.
way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
So super good family that bought that house. And so that's how we met. So at that time, I think that's when you were starting your whole business, right?
Totally. Yeah.
The renovation. So,
Yep.
so tell me a little bit about that. Were you doing interior design first, real estate on the side, or were you just kind of doing it both at the same time? Because it sounds like you were always in that space, like renovating.
I was always in that space. I loved it. Yeah. And that's like goes back to my childhood. Like my mom always made our home like a refuge and beautiful.
Wow.
She always believed that. So it was ingrained in me. I always wanted to live in beautiful spaces.
To make it home, homey, and yeah.
And enjoy where we lived and be proud of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so fascinating, guys. You guys need to follow Shirley. So her taste and design is like nothing else you've ever seen. It really is, right? And I'm not just saying that. I've personally had Shirley come over to our house and try to help us put our space together. And so she is amazing at what she does. So as you're doing all this, right, you're selling homes. Now I feel like you're gravitating more towards like, what do you call it, new construction or just like remodeling or flipping? What would you consider that? So we
started, renovating, like major renovations.
Yeah, you're taking down the studs.
Yeah, we were taking down the studs with my brother. I think we did 4 or 5 homes in Carlsbad together. Okay. And then my brother and John were with me, my husband, doing it. Mm-hmm. And then they both went back to the corporate world, and then they just left me. And I was loving it so much that I'm like, I'm going to just make this a full-time gig for myself. Okay. So then I hired like different GCs for different projects and just project managed them all and built a really awesome sub team. Yeah. And then just designed them, and then I'd sell them, and it just kept growing and growing. Yeah. And then I think last year John just came to work with me.
No way. Yeah. So he's full-time with you?
Yeah, full-time. And then we just hired our son maybe 6 months ago.
Okay. Yeah. That's super cool. So, and then now you have 2 other kids that we haven't mentioned in the story, right?
3. Yeah, we mentioned Sage. Yeah, so Sage works with me. She got her real estate license a couple years ago.
And actually one of the questions that we got through Instagram was, did your daughter always want to do real estate?
No. Sage is into health and fitness. Like that's her main, like she loves it. Yeah. In nutrition. She studies it like crazy. So I thought that's the path she was going to go. Yeah. But I think just wanting to build something with me and work with me, and she loves beautiful spaces and she's good at it. Yeah. Yeah. And then she has a lot of connections. So it just made sense to get your real estate license and jump in. Yeah.
So she's doing that full time with you?
Full time, yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah. One of our, I put it out on Instagram. Someone's like, did she always want to do real estate with her mom? Yeah. That's cool because, I have 3 boys and I'm hoping that one of them is going to want to do real estate with me. You can't force them, right? No. Of course, they're all going to be different. Want to do their own thing. I'm like, I hope one of them wants to hang out with dad and go sell some homes or renovate, do something fun, Yeah.
No, and you can rely on family. Yeah. So our son works with us. He's getting his real estate license now too. Okay. Yeah. So he's learning the construction side, but also he'll jump in on the real estate side too.
So that's pretty cool. So mom, son, and daughter all work together.
Yeah, and husband.
Yeah. So 3, 4. Yeah. 4. Wow. And how does that work?
It works great. Does it? Yeah, it really does. I think it. This year, it's all about just getting my business super organized, hiring more people, and just, they're the ones I can count on, and they have my back. Like,
that's
all the
super
time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fascinating because I tried to work with my wife maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and that was great. I think the problem that I had, that I personally, she's a very creative person naturally, so her space that I was putting in her in was just like a depressing like admin. Just like,
it takes the fun out of it. Yeah, exactly.
I want to create. I want to make things pretty or design. Like, she went to cosmetology school, so she's just like, I don't want to like just be doing admin. So that didn't work out very well, and it's okay. Now we're happier. So, but I felt that when we were working together, like it was just we were always constantly talking about work. Like we would work. Then we'd come home and we're like working, like, hey, did you do that? Did you send this? And so it was like we never really stopped working. Like it felt like we were just always working.
That's my life. Yeah.
Do you run into that?
Oh yeah, that's all I do.
Right? Yeah.
9 o'clock, John will be like, close your laptop, you're done. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I could work all the time.
Of course, right? And because you love what you do, and so it's like you feel like you're not really working. Yeah. Right? In a sense.
Yeah. I don't think I don't know how not to work or not to like. I lost that side where it is about balance. I need to learn. I'm working on that too, but all I do is work. Like I feel like I envy people if I see them just on a walk, like in Carlsbad Village or at the. I'm like, I used to do that. Like, what is that? I lost that, but I'm going to try to get back to that.
Yeah. Well, and I think you nailed it. You said you're getting more people to help you get your time back, right? And so you're going to hire more people. You're going to delegate. You're going to be able to get your freedom back, right?
Totally.
Get that time back.
That's
So
the
that's
goal.
good. And plus, you're getting your son to be a real estate agent, your daughter, so they're gonna be able to leverage that, and they're gonna be able to help you show some homes. And get some time back with the husband John. So that's super cool. So let's talk about that. So I think it's really fascinating. Did you, when you're doing all this right now, where does your book of business? Are you doing more renovation? Are you doing more interior design? Are you doing just both? Is it like half and half?
I think it ebbs and flows. Like the beginning of this year was strictly finishing my large La Jolla project that I just completed. So that was like my focus. But then at the same time, I have other clients' projects going, and then real estate kind of was on the back burner.
Yeah.
But then I felt like real estate, it kind of flipped. Then I got all these buyers and sellers and listings. And then so it ebbs and flows, which is great. I love it.
What do you prefer?
It all goes together.
Yeah?
It really does, yeah. So I think that's kind of where I'm different as an agent, because I do know the ins and out of a home. So I feel like buyers and sellers, they trust me, in my opinion. And then if they want to buy a home, I can help renovate it and make it their own.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so rad. And I think what's cool, too, is that you're never stuck in one space, right? Like,
totally.
Like if you're just selling and helping people buy, like you can get burnt out.
Totally.
But at least you're able to like, okay, I'm going to detach from that. I'm going to use my creative skills. I'm going to design. I'm going to go into houses and help people put things together. I think that's really fascinating that you're never just stuck at one desk. Like you're always constantly moving. So I think that keeps it fun.
Oh,
right?
yeah. I couldn't imagine being stuck at a desk.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't.
That's so cool. So one of the other questions that I had was from one of the followers was, how do you, let me read it so I don't butcher this, but basically the gist of the question was, you go into spaces, you go into territories and you take a high risk, right? Like you grab a project and you're setting records in these neighborhoods, right? Like, how do you do that? Like, what's your train of thought? Is it just like luck? Is it like price per square foot? Is it God, the man above? Because you're going in there like setting a new record for the neighborhood, and that's not an easy thing to do, right? Like you're literally saying like, I know things go for this in this neighborhood, but I'm going to do this in this neighborhood, and I'm going to fix it up this way, and I'm going to sell it for X amount.
Yeah. No, there's no formula, and I think that's where I can confuse a lot of people, because they're just, I get agents calling me all the time like, why would you list it for this price? Like, how do you think? And the next week it's an escrow, and I'm like, because I think I know what buyers want, and I think that if you dial that in, there's always going to be the perfect person for it.
The right buyer, yeah.
So, and even with business partners, it's like the more you put in, the more you get out. So it can frustrate a lot of people because it's not like on a Word doc. It's not anything you can just follow. I know there's people who do that.
Yeah.
I've never lost yet. And so I just feel like I kind of have rose-colored glasses on. I just go for it, and usually it works out.
That's so cool. Yeah. And I mean, that was one of the questions, right? Because it's like, I think you're right. If you build something so beautiful, so perfect, someone's going to be like, I want it.
Totally.
Like, what's the price? Like, who cares? Like, I'm buying that, and like, that's mine.
It becomes a piece of art almost.
Yeah. Right? Because it's so unique. It's not like your everyday cookie cutter flip that it's like, black and white. You're like, okay, well, we get it. It's black and white, and it's like, everybody has that. I know. But if you create a work of art, a masterpiece, you were like, hey, like, I'm going to pay a little bit extra, but it's because I'm having that.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah, there's a market for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's so cool. And then the other question that I got was, your design and style is so unique to your brand. Where did you find your inspiration?
I think that I would say Spanish design, a lot of Spanish design, but mixed with like a modern Mediterranean.
Yeah.
Like I kind of put them together. Just a few trips that I've taken to Tulum.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
So funny.
It's so natural that it just kind of strips away all the other, and so just timeless pieces, things that have been around forever.
Yeah.
And natural, like earthy.
Yeah.
A lot of plaster, a lot of stone, just things that aren't going to go out with the fads.
Yeah.
I don't like to use fake materials.
I love that.
Yeah.
Real, raw material.
Totally.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's funny because when I think about your design, or even if you look at her Instagram page, I mean, it's a very natural, earthy, very Tulum vibes, right? It's like, if you've been to Tulum, like, man, looks like it looks like a lot of Tulum inspiration.
Yeah, it's funny because each project I do, like, it'll bring in a lot of people that grew up in Spain or from Mexico, and they're just drawn to it. So immediately,
so that's kind of your That's pretty cool. So just naturally, you're attracting that. You're attracting the people that love that already.
That's the way I want to live. So then, I just kind of do that, what I would like.
So let's talk about your La Jolla project, because I think that was probably year to date your biggest project you've taken, right?
Yes.
So tell me about how you found it, what you purchased it for, and what you sold it for, because I think those are fascinating numbers, right? That's huge.
It is, yeah. So I had a business partner on this one, and he brought it to me. I designed his house, and he's like, hey, do you want a partner? And so we've done, I think that was our fourth one together, but I do it all, you know? So he just said, check out this property, go look at it, tell me what you think. So I went, and it just was not utilizing the views. Like, I just stood outside. I'm like, oh my gosh, these little tiny you have pure ocean views here. Yeah. So I just called him. I'm like, yeah, let's jump in right now. Let's do it. So bought it at like 1958.
Okay. And so at that price, it's not like you had to gut it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Like down to the studs.
That's wild. Yeah. Did you ever think you'd be buying a property for 19 to just completely gut it down to the studs?
No. But it's all relevant. I mean, as you know, the prices just increase. You just adapt, and so no. Even 2 or 3 years ago, no.
That's crazy, right?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, especially the market where it's gone. Because I mean, you know, I've been doing this for 12 years, and as we've seen things double, triple, quadruple, you're like, what?
Crazy. No, just when we started flipping in Carlsbad, our first flip was like 680, right?
Yeah.
You can't even buy a flip for under 1.2 now.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
You're lucky if you're getting a condo. You know?
I know. It's so bad. Yeah. It's hard. It's harder and harder. But
so you got this property for 19 in La Jolla. You had good bones, and then who draws the design? Do you have an architect for that, or is that you behind that?
So one of my daughter went to school with this architect's daughter, and so him and I rented actually his back house when one of my houses were being done. So I would just sit in his office and be like, hey, this is what I want drawn up for this property. So it would take us like an hour literally just to draw up what I wanted.
Wow.
And then he'd put it into paper and make the plans, and then we'd submit, and I would kind of be the runner back and forth to the city, just checking on him, because that's where a lot of time can be wasted.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to stay on top of all that.
So you, not only are you doing that, you're also going to the city and making sure, wow.
Oh, yeah.
That is crazy. How do you sleep?
I don't.
When do you sleep? That's wild.
My mind never shuts off. So the La Jolla project was good. It was good. It took about 2 years, and COVID hit right after we purchased it. So then it was like the city just drug on. Yeah. But we did demo and just started a lot of the rough-in, ordered all the materials. So we didn't hit any of those crazy lead times. So we were able to, once we got the permit, just start closing up the property.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So,
okay. And do you import a lot of your materials, or what does that look like? Because a lot of the stuff that you get, I'm like, where does Shirley even find those pieces? Like the wood, the rock. I'm like, that's amazing, because we've done a little renovating at our properties, our office and stuff. I mean, even sourcing stuff is that's a full-time job.
Yeah, you gotta go to custom. Yeah, I've got a great guy who does all my cabinetry, doors, metal work. So he's kind of all in one. So him and I work together really good.
Okay. Yeah. So you already have your subcontractors that are in place that are like, hey, I need this, and they know your style. And
totally. Needs. Yeah, every project. It's just we're a team. We all meet at the same day, walk it. Everyone gives me their bids, and then we're ready to go.
Wow.
So, I trust them all. They're like family.
Yeah, that's super cool. So you built that La Jolla project, right? How many square feet was that?
Oh, gosh.
Ballpark.
Around 4,800.
400. Okay, so that's a big space.
Yeah.
And so in that project, did you feel you really got to let loose and say, all right, I'm going to design every nook and corner like how I would want it?
I did, yeah, to the detriment of my business partner, because every month it's like, oh, it's going to be this much more, but I knew in the end it would be worth it. And then some. So it
must have been so tough leaving that house.
Yeah, the new owners contracted me for more design work.
No kidding.
Yeah, so we're there at least twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah. They're ripping out the bar. We're doing a
Way.
sauna.
After you finish the bar?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. You're getting paid for it, right?
Yeah, they're making it their own, and it's turning out beautiful.
Yeah,
so.
That's crazy. I feel like if I design something like that, I'm like, not leaving.
I know.
Not leaving.
I know.
Like, good luck. I'm staying here. Like,
totally. No, my Carlsbad properties, I'll drive by all the time, and sometimes the owner's like, I saw you drive by again, Shirley. Like, you just gotta revisit it. It's like your baby.
It's your little piece of heart that you left there, right? Your little piece of you. That's so cool. So you finished that project, and What was that like? What you ended up selling it for?
7,457.
Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
that's so amazing. So were you able to set a record there in that neighborhood?
I did,
Price per square foot?
Yeah.
What was the open house like?
Oh my gosh, that was so fun.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yeah, I hired a band and a bartender, and we had like a bouncer checking people, and there was like probably over 200 people. It was crazy.
Kidding.
It was, but it was so amazing because it showed the house just like what it could be in the entertainment.
Like hosting.
Yeah, it was fabulous. It was a great night.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And I'm sure you were able to pick up so much more other clientele from that, right? Because they saw that and they were like, Shirley, you got to design my house, right?
Totally.
Like, come, I live down the street. Can you design my house?
Yeah, it snowballed into a lot of business.
Made a lot of great contacts.
Yeah, it did.
That's so cool. So, and then right now you had mentioned that you got like 6 other projects going.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Wow. Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And so most of your work right now is renovation or renovating, you were saying.
Renovating, designing for clients. We've been picking up some really fun projects where people will buy a house that's already done but want us to come in and completely furnish it, like down to dishes and stuff. So I've got 4 girls that work with me, and we'll just do all the purchasing, and then we do all the install. It's great. It's fun.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Especially when I think it's like other people's money, right? It's a little bit easier. You're like, oh, all right. Sounds good. You know,
no, I'm renovating my Bishop house now, and I'm like, wait, how much is that? What am I doing?
Yeah, you're like, wait, we got to budget this one, you know?
Exactly.
But everyone else is like, all right, hey, you told me.
Yeah.
So that's so cool. All right, so you're doing that. You're selling real estate. What else do you do? What do you do for fun?
Oh my gosh, Ivan. I sit in my sauna with my book and no electronics, and I just like literally that's my fun right now. If I can squeeze in a beach walk, then I'm having a good day.
Oh, that's super cool. That's super cool. Well, that's so fascinating. Like I've been loving watching your growth, and just I think what's also fascinating about your real estate space, like that is your brand, right? Like you know, like this is Shirley designed this house, and so it's pretty cool to just see that. Where now you're just selling awesome, beautiful properties that you've done.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's really cool. And it's a very unique style, which is what I love. So that's so cool. And so as you're doing this, what's the future plans? Like, what do you feel you're going to be at in the next 5 years? Right? Where do you see?
Yeah. That's a good question.
Yeah.
I feel like every year, like I come to a point of growth. Like I get so much business, but I'm still raising my little girls. They're 13 and 16. So I'm always prayerful, just like, God, if you want me to expand and keep growing, then just make it happen.
Yeah.
So the last 2 years, I came to that point where it's like, okay, I can just blow up and get a ton of business and just go for it, or pull back. And I felt led to be pulled back both years, even though I was so busy. But for me, that was pulled back.
Yeah.
But this year, it really felt like, okay, it's time to just grow. And so we have four women that work for me, and then my husband's son, and we're just building something amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
that is so cool.
Yeah, it's good.
I love that. I love what you mentioned. If just asking God, like, all right, God, like, what do you want me to do, right? Because it's so easy to just be consumed by work. It's so easy to just go. But I think that's one of the things that I admire about you is that it looks like you're always with your girls. From when I follow you on social media, like you got that Bronco. It sounds like your girls are always in the background. You guys are getting ice cream. So while you're working, you're still hanging out with your kiddos.
I'm trying.
Picking them up, doing stuff with them.
Yeah.
And so I think that's really fascinating as an entrepreneur. You know, even other business owners that are listening to this is that you can still work, but you can still bring your kids along. You can still make time for them. You know, and also, you know, I think there's periods in life where you're saying, all right, I'm going to grow. You know, and we're going to go all out. And kids, this is what we're doing. We're building this together. You're coming along with the ride. And there's going to be other seasons in your life where you might pull back a little bit. Like, all right, we're going to go play. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a great time. And so I think that's really cool that you're having the whole family involved in
even
this
the little
journey.
Girls, they already talking when I get my license or when I. So it's cute. We'll build an amazing family business.
Yeah,
keep growing.
That's so inspirational. That is so cool. You know, especially having my younger kids. That's really cool to have someone to look up to and be like, wow, like that's what I want. I want to be able to do that with my family, right? Like, all right, kiddos, like we're doing this. Let's go, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's all consuming. So I had no choice. If I want to see my family, I just need to pull them in.
Yeah.
Or else I wouldn't see them ever.
That's genius. Yeah. I love that. Well, let's, we got a couple questions more here. One of the other questions that we had was, when was your first project? But I think we talked about that. You kind of did that early on, right?
Yeah, 19 was bought my first project, yeah.
And the question is, did you do Did you do how you thought you were going to do, or did you do better? Talking about profit.
Oh, better.
Better.
Yeah, it's always better than I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
And I don't do the list price until literally it's staged. So agents get so frustrated with me because literally some of them have been like 500 to $1 million over on list day. So they think like, okay, Shirley, I'm going to bring my buyer. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, the price is now. And they're like, what? Yeah. But it's all relevant.
It's just the market. Mm-hmm. It's just the market. We've been so blessed, right? That exactly. It's like I'm telling people, I'm like, hey, we're going to run the numbers the day of because the market's changing so rapidly. So, I've had the same situation where we're like, like what I told you 2 months ago, we're going to get you 200,000 more. Yeah. Yeah. So
exactly.
That's so cool. Yeah. Well, Shirley, I think that's what we have for our episode. Anything that you would like to share with your listeners? I mean, I think there's a lot of people that follow you. And so what would you want to share with them,
I would share with you guys is just to put it out there. Put your dreams out there. Write it down. Every year I do a whole list of what I want to accomplish that year. And just literally by writing it and telling a few people, it just you can manifest it, Wow. And every day, just baby steps to where you want to get to.
I love that. Yeah. And do you do these goals with your family or do you do it with your husband?
Myself, I do encourage them. Like I'll ask them, what do you see? Like the question you asked me, where do you see yourself next year or in 5 years? Like it's very important to put that out there and just, God knows, like all my dreams and desires. And it's neat to see it all starting just to come and happen. And it was all in his timing though. So
that's so cool. Yeah. That's beautiful. I love that. And then also, marriage. What marriage advice would you give? This is like a curveball here. I think you've been married. Switch gears.
Yeah, almost 26 years.
26 years. That's a long time.
Yeah. Advice would be just to forgive quickly, easily, have fun together. Just it helps that John and I are working together now because we have everything in common now. Yeah. When I was kind of going off with, and then he was doing his thing, it's like, you feel the frustration, but now it's like we're on the same team, we can talk about everything and we're on the same page now. So it's good. So just have fun, spend time together. Don't take life too serious. Yeah.
That's super good. Oh, I love that. Especially because, being married for 10 years, not 25 years yet, but it's constant work, right? Yeah. It's constant work. And I think we live in a world where people give up easily or people don't forgive easily. And so, we're humans, we're constantly making mistakes and we're trying to be a better person for one another. And so I think I always find it very inspirational when people are successful, not only in business, but also in their marriage and then with their kids, And so like, I know you talked about balance, but like, looking outside in, like that to me is balance, right? Like you're killing it in business. Looks like you have a great relationship with your husband, great relationship with your kids, great spiritual life. And so that is balance, even though you might not feel it, like looking outside in, like that's great, Shirley.
Thank you.
And that's admirable because there's a lot of people in this world that just absolutely kill it in business and that's great, but then their marriage is falling apart, right? Or vice versa. Their marriage is great, but got no business, You're
like,
hey,
it can go that way.
That's good, but like you gotta, you gotta have some business too. So that's super cool, Shirley. I really enjoyed having you on this on our podcast today. I think a lot of listeners are just going to love to hear the story about you and your family and the growth. And guys, if you don't follow Shirley, please do so. She's amazing at what she does. What's your Instagram handle?
Shirley Slee.
Shirley Slee?
My name. Yeah.
Okay, Shirley Slee. Follow her on Instagram. Is there any other platform she should follow you?
I'm getting a new website rebuilt, so it's going to be really cool. Yeah. Okay. Next 6 months it'll be done.
All right. Perfect. And then if you have any design work, real estate needs, she's your girl. She's amazing at what she does. And thank you again for coming on.
Thank you, Ivan. I appreciate it.
All righty.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
You too.